welcome to This Week in Laker Football, your exclusive weekly look into the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity football team on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside head coach Zach Hilbers. The Lakers opening their playoff campaign at Novi with a big victory, 49-15 over the Wildcats. Really from the jump, what stood out with this Laker team was the physicality in the trenches. You really won that matchup early. How did that set you up for success in the opening minutes?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That was a huge emphasis for us. As you enter playoff football, you really have to set the tone. So credit to our guys for doing that, both sides of the ball, which kind of allowed us to jump up 14-0 before our defense had a big touchdown to kind of make it 21-0 pretty early. But yeah, that's what it comes down to in playoff football. You got to be able to block, you got to be able to tackle.
We knew about against the Novi offense, pretty versatile, have a lot of playmakers. You mentioned that last week as being something that's really tough to match up against, but you held them scoreless for those first 17 minutes. How critical was it on those opening drives to limit their field position in particular? They had a lot of trouble getting past the 50.
Yeah, the defense did a great job. They understood the game plan. They knew which players could hurt them and where they would line up. I guess how to attack them defensively. They kind of embraced the challenge of all that, Monday through Thursday last week. So they felt pretty prepared on Friday, and they executed it really well. And it was the start we really needed.
Did you notice a different gear being met coming into this game than maybe during the regular season, or even different from the beginning of the regular season to the end of the regular season to now in the playoffs with their team's preparation, their focus, and their aggression going into that ball game?
Yeah, probably on Friday afternoon on, we seemed like we were really locked in and ready for the challenge, and I felt pretty confident with just, I guess, our guys' focus, and I think it kind of showed. Yeah.
Lakers winning on Friday night last week, 49-15 on the road in Novi against the Wildcats. They go back to Novi this Friday to take on Catholic Central for the district championship. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have more details on where you can watch that game and tune in, join in with the Laker faithful on our website on civiccentertv.com/Lakersports. Back out to the defense, giving up just 15 points in that game. Most of that later on. Really critical was the third level play by guys like Jaden Allos, who had a pick, and Corey Pittman, who had another pick six. Seems like every time that he gets that football on the defensive side, he takes it home. How critical were they to your team being able to get your offense on the field, keep playing to put points on the board, and keep Novi out of a position to really be able to get back in that game?
Well, Corey's was huge in that, we had just gone up 14-0 and it made it 21-0 pretty early in the second quarter, and it really kind of set a tone that, we had taken early control of the game. And Allos was right before halftime, too, to kind of thwart any chance they have of getting another score. I guess it made our message for the kids, look, we've been on the other side of this, where we've stormed back and from when we were down and taken leads again, and we're not going to let that happen to us. We really have to finish the job, and they did.
And as they finish the job on the defensive side of the ball, 49 points is a lot to score in any football game, especially in the playoffs. Got to focus on that offense. In particular, Jamal Shakespeare, who had over 120 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns in that game. How did his versatility help you across all 3 phases and picking up that opening round win?
We play him all over the field, and we put so much on that kid's plate, from playing quarterback, running back, receiver, and then free safety, where the free safeties have to know what everyone's job on the defense is. So it's really he has to know all 22 people where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing, and that's a lot. And the fact that he's able to navigate that and then have the success he had last week in a big playoff game, I was really happy for him, and I know he was really excited and happy for himself too, but he's worked really hard all year, and he deserved it.
That being said, over the last few weeks, we've seen a handful of guys getting touches offensively every single week. It was huge in that regular season win on the road at Birmingham Seaholm, where 8+ guys got the football. Last week we saw Cam Flowers, Elijah Durham also get some touches. Josh Tate had a great game. How does that versatility offensively help you, especially at this time of the year where you're going to be going up against a variety of different competition at different levels and with different strengths?
Yeah, it's really beneficial to us as an offense because you want to be able to take whatever the defense is giving you, because different defenses try to take different things away, usually based on the strength of their players they have out there. And if we can be multiple and versatile, whatever it is they're giving you, we should be able to attack it. And some people are harder with, not having many weaknesses out there. But we think with the guys we have, we can at least try to find some chink in an armor that we can attack.
Lakers taking on Novi Detroit Catholic Central on Friday. They are a 10-0 team, one of the top ranked in the entire state of Michigan. That talent, that versatility, definitely going to play a factor in the Lakers trying to go out and win that district championship. Coach, you mentioned it in the past weeks when you've picked up a win. Winning 2 in a row is really tough. But you also told the Oakland Press after this past game against Novi, what you were really impressed with was how the team sort of collected all the good from throughout the season and kept consistent with that throughout the game. How are you preaching to them to maintain that consistency as they get ready for arguably their toughest game of the year coming up?
Yeah, very well might be the toughest. And, they saw what can happen when they do things the right way and kind of get out of our own way sometimes and play like clean and confident and collective together. And this week's probably even more important. Catholic Central doesn't beat themselves, so you certainly have to beat them yourself, and you can't beat yourself. You have to go out there and beat them because they're not going to do it for you. It's definitely vital for this week.
Plenty more coming up later on in the program about that Catholic Central team coming in, the CHSL champions. They won their Central Division as well, undefeated, and another tough matchup on the road coming up in Novi for the Lakers. For the meantime, we're going to take a break with the head coach. On the other side, Mr. Pick Six Chops Pittman will join us. Stay with us. It's This Week in Laker Football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hello, my name is Danya Bazzi. I'm the superintendent of West Bloomfield School District. I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on hitting the amazing milestone of 1 million viewers. Your involvement in our community doesn't go unnoticed. We thank you for keeping our residents and community engaged in the latest and greatest news and information. I'm Danya Bazzi, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
Live, local, social. Dive into your community with the Splash Live. Coverage of events and exciting developments in the greater West Bloomfield area. Join Tyler Keefe, Kevin McIntosh, and the rest of our staff live out on the street or in our studio. Weekdays live on Comcast Channel 15 or on AT&T at Channel 99. Watch us online too on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, on YouTube at Civic Center TV, or on our website, civiccentertv.com.
Welcome back to This Week in Laker Football, your exclusive weekly look into the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity football team on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe, joined by Chops Pittman, the Laker defensive back in the 2024 season as they go on to the second round of the playoffs. Chops, I want to talk about that first game because big expectations for the Lakers this season. Maybe they didn't meet that in the regular season, but certainly had a great showing in that first playoff game against Novi.
Going to the game, we knew it was a big game for us. Some people were down. We was like, we're not going out first round. Our seniors who came hard to play, everybody came, and we just got the win.
In that game, you had a pick six that came at a really critical point for the Lakers late in that game, helped us really seal the deal against Novi. And you've had a few of those throughout this season. What do you think's been the key to you to be able to not only pick up the football on the defensive side of the ball, but to turn those into some really big plays all season long?
I feel like I just be in the right place, right time. I got to play my coverage, know where I got to be. And when I get the ball, I know my teammate's going to block for me. I just run back to the end zone.
We know you've been on this team in the past. It's been a couple of years since your last time on the football team. Took a year off last season. What's it been like to get back out there with this team? And does it feel like there's been any time that's passed, or like you just came back to the same team you were on back then?
It feel really good, actually. I haven't played since freshman year, so it's new guys on the team. And I just felt like I felt they brought me in. Was a good player, and I felt like I was good for the position I'm in.
Yeah, coming in to this season, coming in after not playing since your freshman year, it's been a couple of seasons. You know, for a lot of people, they come back in, they maybe get on the varsity team, you're down the depth chart a little bit, but you're a starter and you're playing a critical role. So how have you sort of maybe embraced that large role on this team and the pressure that maybe comes along with being in the starting position as an upperclassman leader?
During the summer, Coach Hilbers said I was going to have to be a key role, so I just put the work in. I came in and knew it was going to be a big role for me, and that's what I had to do.
Corey Pittman is with us on This Week in Laker Football. Defensive back for the Lakers had a big role in their 49-15 victory in the district semifinal last week in Novi. They're going back out to Novi this Friday to take on Novi Detroit Catholic Central, one of the top-rated teams, ranked teams in the entire state of Michigan, undefeated. It's a big challenge, but you're used to playoff experience from being on the basketball team. A lot of success for them in the past couple of seasons. How's that helped you to kind of get ready for these sort of situations, while also helping some of the younger players get ready for playoff football as well?
I say, to be honest, anything can happen in the playoffs. They could be 10-0. We 5-4, 5-5. We're not scared of nobody. We're going to come out and play our game. They got good players. We got good players. But we all, to the fourth quarter, we're going to win the game.
And going back to your basketball experience, a lot of times we have multi-sport athletes that play football. They also run track, or they're in wrestling. And those sports kind of coincide and really mix well with a game like football. How does basketball and the skills that help you on the court help you on the football field as well?
I'll say my feet work, because I know guarding people, it'd be hard, but I got quick feet, so I can stay in front of somebody or run past somebody fast.
Corey Pittman is with us on This Week in Laker Football as the Lakers get ready for a Friday night matchup with one of the best teams in the entire state of Michigan for the district championship. 7 o'clock kickoff on Friday against Novi Detroit Catholic Central. CivicCenterTV.com/LakersSports is the place to go for more information on how you can tune in and how you can get tickets as well. Corey, before we let you go, what do you think is going to be the key for your team going forward to do something that you haven't been able to do all season long, win 2 games in a row? And right now, if you can't do that, you're in a bad spot. You go home.
I say we've been having trouble stopping the run lately, so this week's gonna be real crucial to stop the run. They have a good running back and run up the floor, run up the field. So I feel like we stop that, closing the inside, it would be good.
A couple of really good running backs in that backfield for Novi Detroit Catholic Central. The Lakers have been able to shut down the run pretty well over the last couple of weeks, especially in that opening round matchup against a run-heavy team in Novi. Can they do it again on Friday? Big part of that is going to be Corey Pittman and the fellows on the defensive side. Corey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll take a break on This Week in Laker Football. On the other side, Coach Hilbers will rejoin me. We'll preview that game against Catholic Central, what it's going to take for these Lakers to win the district championship and build this momentum over these past few weeks as we get deeper and deeper into playoff time. Stay with us. It's This Week in Laker Football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Well, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoyed giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
We've got news. Civic Center TV just reached 1 million views on YouTube. Over the years, we've filed over 10,000 stories. We've covered local parades and events, life-saving efforts by first responders, remarkable accomplishments of local individuals, state championship athletic teams, and our area's history, government, and the people who volunteer to make our community better. Civic Center TV on cable, online, and on social media, now with over 1 million views on YouTube. Civic Center TV, thanks for watching. You're 1 in a million.
Welcome back to This Week in Laker Football, your exclusive weekly look into the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity football team on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft. He's Zach Hilbers, head coach of the Lakers varsity football squad. Coming in to the second round of the playoffs, it's the district finals, first trophy game of these playoffs, and man, what a earned trophy that would be if you're able to take out the 10-0 Catholic Central team on Friday. What are you looking at as you go into this week with that team? And arguably, if you had to make a few key points, why are they 10-0?
They don't make a lot of mistakes. It's one of the more physical teams I've seen around. I guess really top to bottom. It's not one or two kids. It's their collective. They're physical. They don't make a ton of mistakes. Their defense is outstanding. I think the last 4 or 5 weeks they've given up a combined 10 points. So that's something they can really hang their hat on. They run the ball well. If you run the ball and play good defense, you're always going to be in the game. But they've done that and really controlled most games.
They got a lot of playmakers across the board. Their defense last week had a couple of players, including Casimir Moyer, who had 8 tackles. Lee Kruger had 5 tackles, 2 of those for a loss. And they play a lot of those playmakers on both offense and defense. How do you like your matchups against them in particular, given their versatility, but your versatility also, as we talked about earlier on?
Yeah, we're definitely, I guess, both versatile. They got a lot of guys that go on both sides of the ball that are really good. Jaden Pyden being another one. It's definitely a kind of, I guess, a matchup of strength versus speed, with us being, our advantage probably being a little bit of team speed against them. But, when it comes down to it, when they have the ball, you have to be able to match their physicality, because if you don't, they're just going to kind of grind you. And we've seen both sides of that. We've seen us, really step up to the challenge against some teams, and we've seen us really not have good games against teams like Oxford that had a similar mentality. So it's, on us to be at our best on Friday, because we know that's what they're going to be bringing.
So how do you balance that then in the preparation? You mentioned that game against Oxford where they really played to their strengths. They put their best playmaker forward in Luke Johnson and had a dominant game. How do you balance that with not only being prepared and confident, but being able to match up with adversity, especially when you're going up against a really good team that tends to get out in front early on against their opponents?
Yes, you see, they definitely got out early last week. I went back and watched their game against Livonia Stevenson. But, when I think back at the Oxford game, which was probably our poorest performance of the year, I put a lot of that on myself, just really not having the right game plan in place. Like, we knew Luke Johnson was really good. We just wanted to make sure we shut down all the other, players on that team. And it doesn't really matter when you don't, shut down their one stud. So, we're going to have a different mindset. We think we know what they're pretty good at, and that's going to have to take all of our focus, because if we let them just play CC football, there's a reason they're 10-0. They'll keep being successful. It's our job to get them out of their game.
Going into Novi this week, back out into western Oakland County as the Lakers take on Catholic Central. 7 o'clock kickoff on Friday night in Novi at Catholic Central. More information on where that will be broadcast, how you can get tickets, and more on the game on civiccentertv.com/LakersSports. Coach, if you're able to pick up this win, that is a huge step forward. Doesn't get any easier from here. Looking at Belleville or Saline, if you're able to get through this week. So as you keep going through the playoffs and you're seeing this bigger competition, those big names, undefeated Catholic Central, Belleville, a team with a lot of history with these Lakers, that's been to the last 3 consecutive D1 championship games. How do you keep your team's mindset on the task at hand and not really looking forward to some pretty intimidating competition coming forward?
I guess I would say it doesn't matter what's ahead if you don't take care of what's in front of you, It's natural, I think, for anyone to look ahead and look at what the path might be, but it doesn't matter if we don't do our job. And I don't think I need to tell anybody that, Catholic Central is certainly good enough to knock you out if you're not on your game. So we know that that's our task right now, and we'll worry about next week if we're lucky enough to be playing football next week.
Lakers, again, 7 o'clock kickoff on Friday night. That's where we'll find out if their season continues on or if Catholic Central will move on to play Belleville or Saline. It's going to be a great game. We'll have more information on that game for you on civiccentertv.com/LakersSports. Coach, before we wrap things up, any lasting thoughts on this matchup coming up with Catholic Central or your team's approach to these playoffs so far?
Well, I guess our lasting message is, we've had a lot of ups and downs this year, but we never stopped believing in our mission, believing in each other, and believing in the team that we can still reach our goals. And in Division I, you're never going to have an easy game in the playoffs, so we know it's going to be a battle. But, we've stayed together this whole year through a lot of ups and downs, and we're ready for whatever challenge comes in front of us.
We've seen the Lakers play some of their best football over the last 4 weeks. They're hoping to continue that on Friday night, coming in with a lot of confidence as they take on the Shamrocks. Coach, thanks as always.
Yeah, thank you.
We thank you also for tuning in to This Week in Laker Football. You can stay tuned with the team all throughout the season and look back on the regular season and the opening of the playoffs as we speak on civiccentertv.com. On behalf of the entire team at the West Bloomfield High School Athletics Department and our team at Civic Center TV, I want to thank you for joining us once again on This Week in Laker Football.